As Benjamin Franklin said, time is money. And as Leo Trotsky said, the most important time is now. Basically what this means, the most valuable currency is time. And most people spend time like they have unlimited supply. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, I get it. I read the productivity tips. I've tried the apps, and I still procrastinate. Well, that's exactly why I'm making this. Procrastination isn't just about being lazy or needing motivation. Science shows it's driven by 4 predictable brain mechanisms. And once you understand them, you can beat them. I used to waste hours scrolling, putting off work, and waiting until the last second, until I learned how to flip those mechanisms in my favor. Redshift helped me build multiple successful software projects, excel at UCLA, bulk up by over 20 pounds in the gym, create content, all within the span of a few years. Let's break this down the scientific way. Although many people view a lack of motivation as the main source of procrastination, it is actually not that. There are 4 mechanisms behind the cause of procrastination. Number 1, dopamine reward loop. This is where the brain favors short-term pleasures over long-term goals. Example, choosing TikTok over finishing a report, or drinking alcohol over doing an assignment. 2, temporal discounting, where future rewards are perceived as less valuable than immediate ones. For example, saying I'll do it tomorrow repeatedly for weeks, or choosing $100 on a night out today instead of investing it into your YouTube channel. Number 3, amygdala activation, where task-related anxiety triggers avoidance behavior. This includes avoiding emails because one might contain bad news, or avoiding starting a YouTube channel because it frightens you being in front of a camera, even though it may completely change your life. Number 4, prefrontal cortex fatigue, where decision-making energy depletes throughout the day. Examples include planning a project in the morning and then binge-watching shows at night, or after a complex decision-making day at work, you want to cook a healthy dinner at home but instead decide to order fast food because your energy for decision-making and self-control is depleted. This right here is the typical cycle for procrastination. It first starts off with trigger, then discomfort, then distraction, then temporary relief, then guilt, then more stress, repeat. In the academic setting, it can include a deadline rush, like writing a 3,000-word essay the night before it's due, where one gets uncomfortable to start, they get distracted by their phone, get relieved by it, feel guilty by it, and then there's more stress. Similarly, this applies to the workplace as well, where task switching, like checking Slack 15 times instead of doing the budget, can occur. And in personal life, it can be avoidance, like not scheduling a doctor's appointment for months. For example, I used to watch Family Guy or movies instead of doing work, and would usually put off studying and homework until the last second. I will first present the scientific and then more importantly the philosophical way for beating procrastination and saving time. Scientifically, you can follow this 4-step model. Number 1, boost expectancy. Use implementation intentions like, if it's 9 a.m., I open my notes and write 3 sentences. Break big tasks down into ridiculously small steps in order to avoid overwhelm. As my uncle says, take it 1 step at a time and focus on the doing, and then everything will compound. Number 2, increase value/reward. Pair work with something enjoyable. For example, after you finish studying for 1 hour, grab food at a place you like. Or reframe tasks by linking them to your personal goals or identity. For example, for me personally, I like to be considered as the person that completes tasks fast and effectively. It's linked to my identity. Number 3, reduce delay. Set artificial deadlines with accountability partners, like friends, study buddies, etc. You can also show progress publicly, like some fitness people do. Number 4, lower impulsiveness. Impulsiveness means to act on sudden urges or desires without considering the long-term consequences. For example, this includes smoking, drinking, eating sugar. The solution for one online is use Chrome extensions to help eliminate distractions. For example, I used to use the social media blocker. By the way, these are not my products or sponsors. You can also work on distraction-free sprints like the Pomodoro technique. Choose a task you want to work on. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Work on the tasks without interruptions until the timer rings. Take a short break, usually around 5 minutes. After 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break, like between 15 to 30 minutes. Although I don't use the Pomodoro technique, my roommate who got good grades swears by it. Also, implementing an emotional layer of self-compassion helps a lot. Science shows that procrastination comes from avoiding negative feelings and not laziness. Self-compassion lowers avoidance and stress, making it easy to start. For example, you can tell yourself, it's okay, I feel stuck, but I can still take one small action. As a side note, many of you may optimize your life with productivity softwares, morning routines, etc., but I think it's all crap. And I'll talk about it in a bit. Now, more importantly, philosophically, look, You know what to do. Nothing has to be perfect, especially initially. No one is coming to save you, and no one can change you but you. But you must every single day push yourself, especially when it's hard, especially when it hurts. And you'll feel much better in the long run after you push yourself in the short run. Keep in mind, perfection does not exist, but progression does. You must keep going, keep pushing. There's this great quote, motivation is temporary, but discipline is permanent. And it's absolutely true. If you want a better life, if you want an easier life, you must choose the hard path. That means working harder, working smarter, and pushing past what's comfortable. Some of you may be really into motivation videos, but no more motivation videos. You need discipline. So forget about motivation and just push yourself. In the long run, this path brings greater rewards than procrastination and indulgence. You must force yourself out of your comfort zone. But here's the good news. As a baby, you learn to walk, you learn to talk, and you even learn to read. In each of these, you stepped outside your comfort zone. So it's not that you can't do it, you just haven't pushed hard enough to break the barrier yet. Once you break it, life becomes easier, and every barrier after becomes easier to break. This begins a positive loop, one that fuels growth, confidence, and success. The flowchart includes step into discomfort, then face challenge, afterward persist through difficulty, then break the barrier, afterward gain new skills and confidence, then life becomes easier, and afterward there's a willingness to face bigger challenges, and then the cycle repeats. That's how top creators like Mr. Beast and top entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg take on new challenges, like creating bigger and bigger content for Mr. Beast, creating rockets or chips in the brain for Elon Musk, and making wearable glasses, which Mark Zuckerberg did. Even though, by the way, it's completely out of their comfort zone. My 7th grade teacher had this great saying, excuses equal loser. Although it's a bit extreme, there's some truth behind it. You're being delusional if you don't keep yourself accountable for the work and instead make up excuses. For example, if you say it's hot outside as an excuse for why you lost, you're being delusional, as your opponent struggled with the exact same thing. The best way to overcome this is to eliminate all excuses in the first place and just consistently show up, putting in 110%. And by the way, sometimes you may slip up and that's okay, but you should constantly improve and get back up instead of staying down when you get knocked down. As soon as you start your journey of getting outside of your comfort zone, in my eyes, you can make anything fun for yourself if you really want to. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that you can brainwash yourself into success. For example, although I didn't like school, I kept telling myself I love to learn. This pushed me to consistently study for school even when I really hated it. Thoughts materialize, and if you keep telling yourself the same thing, you can literally brainwash yourself to success. No joke. And by the way, brainwashing yourself can help you enter into the flow state, where you lose track of time and just do. But here's the problem. Many people set time tracking and use all this productivity software, which is cool, but from my experience, it actually distracted me from jumping in straight into the task, which helped me get into the flow state. That's why I prefer to start working right away to get me into the rhythm. Now, everyone's different. For example, Michael Siepel, CEO of Twitch, swears by a to-do list, while Mr. Beast just wakes up and starts working. That is why it is important to know yourself, and the only way for you to figure this out is by actually starting, by forcing yourself to start, and by analyzing what works and what doesn't. But take it one step at a time, baby steps. Force yourself and start. Before we end this off, I want to show this pie chart of Click2 Pro with this percentage breakdown. As said earlier, this video is useless unless you force yourself out of your comfort zone. For the people with lack of motivation, you will develop it over time. What you really need is discipline. Motivation, it comes and goes. It's not really reliable. For the people feeling overwhelmed, take it one baby step at a time and just start and focus on the doing. For the perfectionists, focus on progression. Perfection doesn't exist either way, just look at our world. And for the people that have fear of failure, no one will even remember your failure. And what you really should be fearing is regret. Thank you.